So already the United States of America is sounding an alarm on John Dramani Mahama, the president-elect of the Republic of Ghana, about the IMF deal. Now, it is not the whole of the United States of America, but people or more contributions, have made America what it is today. I'm talking about in terms of economics, business strategies, and also a whole lot of ideas. A bit mama country or more GDP, more growth, it grow exponentially. These people are sounding alarm. Say John Dramani Mahama will perhaps be the West more than Akufo-Addo. Who is saying this, and why is this particular thing coming at this particular crucial point in time? Now, Nipa, or this same Yababe Tujano, Nipa uhuni picture on the screen, social screens on the far left. Nipa make an answer, Steve Hanke. Now, Steve Hanke has a very incredible resume of telling us and also giving forecasts in terms of economics, a country's growth, GDP, any infrastructure with mama country edimo. Now, I know somebody who says why this was the same guy in 2022 who told us, and even before, who told us Akufo-Addo's economy will be the hardest that Ghana has never experienced before. And true to his words, it came to pass. Now, in the case of John Dramani Mahama, immediately John Dramani Mahama, he became the president-elect. And he said, maybe on social media. Remember, this is a person who has all the accolades, or a very, very yes, a buyer who do all over. They work with him. He says that Mahama's stance on the IMF deal means he is doomed to fail. Before then, let's put this on the screens. What you are watching on the screens currently, what you are watching on the screens currently, in part what he said. I say here we go again. More incompetence. Steve Hanke on Mahama's plan to renegotiate IMF deal. Remember, I said Mahama got the name incompetent in 2016. During his tenure from 2012 to 2016, when the economy started going bad, and you realize Akufo-Addo or contested to be the president, he was using the word incompetent, and abekaho, and all can't the same person. The same word John Dramani Mahama in his previous term, was here we go again. More incompetence. Steve Hanke on Mahama's plan to renegotiate a IMF. Now, for the status, this guy, who is he? So let's put this on the screens, and this is definitely going to give you a preview of who this person is. And at the end of the day, we will go to exactly what he said. Okay, listen, this Steve Hanke. Okay, a little bio about him. Steve Hanke is a professor of applied economics and founder and co-director of the Institute of Applied Economics, Global Health and Study of Business Enterprise at the Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, US. Now, this guy, I'm telling you, is American president who on how to put the economy in shape. Now, this is the guy who have come to speak. Now, idea Ama a friend is saying Obiaka say, hey, so papa we have a casa, then say Mahama, the term the Akufo-Addo opposite way social media on Twitter. Look at this. Now, he posted, I'm sure that this particular image was generated by AI and something. Now, you could see here, say, this particular image, there is a president sitting on a stack of money, and on the side is a Ghana flag. Now let's concentrate on the words and even make this big. Or say Ghana watch, hashtag Ghana watch. President-elect Mahama wants to renegotiate IMF deal or renegotiate Ghana's IMF deal for radical changes to smooth loan repayment. Here we go again. More Ghanaian incompetence. Akwano, or say more Ghanaian incompetence. No way. Now, myself, when news organizations were really reporting on this, I was asking myself, say, he didn't even add context. So, okay, this is why he thinks Mahama's renegotiation of the IMF deal a bad thing. For those, you better call on to the next one, but let me explain. Mahama, the entire Mahama's whole IMF deal about into the spotlight. Sanamdi Kanka in our previous episode, they said immediately Mahama won the December 7th elections. No? The next day, IMF brought out a release saying, Mahama, we congratulate you, but we also want you. We also want to help you. We have money if you want. Okay, Bejiska. And John Dramani Mahama said he did the same thing in 2012 to 2016, and the economy tanked even with IMF's money. And one thing Mahama okotena a opposition we say, ne predecessor no Akufo-Addo kra ko IMF money scano so Ghana send ye. So John Dramani Mahama sent back a way to the IMF. IMF, listen, you want to give me money, I don't have any issue, but I'm going to take it on my terms and renegotiate. Now, the reason why not John Dramani Mahama or Kasoberi negotiate, is because of something like the current and at the recent bombshell, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Mr. Dr. Ernest Addison, and Mr. Ernest Addison, or go to they just ended a banking hall sector meetings or absano. I would two just say we find it's a banks no close here, GN Bank, Capital Bank, UT Bank, Unibank, and Kono. It was IMF who asked specifically say drop or close these banks. So you see that IMF comes with its own TNCs, that's basically terms and conditions. You discount them out, they do this, do that. But then only Ghana has it. And at the end of the day, even though some of the measures and the ways can put our country on a recovery, you telling us to close down crucial banks, in a way, a break Ghana for crew. And that is one of the reasons why Akufo-Addo and the NPP lost this recent elections. Now, hold on with them. In some buy, and I had to recess. Okay, Papaya can sem we posting Yema. Now, what is he really talking about, and what can we do to avert this? Because I desperately want John Dramani Mahama's second term to be something good. I don't want to suffer for 8 years and continue with Mahama's 4 years. I want at least Mahama to succeed for once. What am I saying? So then I revisited back and I realized, say, this same from Hanks, okay, Professor Hanks, can be almost 4 or 3 years ago about Akufo-Addo. Now, look at what we've placed on the screens. Or say, Professor of Applied Economics at the Johns Hopkins University, Steve Hanke, accused Akufo-Addo, President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, of pulling Ghana's economy in a think. Remember, I said this guy basically predicted Akufo-Addo's doom even before some of us could realize. First red flag. So you listen to what he say here, you understand why he's coming from, where he's coming from, how perhaps NDC can avert this particular thing. Also, he indicated that the country's economy is currently experiencing significant difficulties due to mismanagement. Thanks to President Akufo-Addo, Ghana's economy is in a thing, he said. Today, I measure Ghana's inflation at a stunning 109% per year or per annum, that's yearly, without a currency board like the one Gold Coast had in 1913 to 1958. Debt default is just around the corner, Professor Steve Hanke said. Now, Papa can say the next year debt default is so bad. So if you look at what he said, you realize he said, way back in Gold Coast, Ghana was very rich, had everything, increments time near the other. And the two just said, before Abrofon, time and Abrofon, they had something in place, and friend a currency board. That is why I said Ghana was in its rich time during the colonial eras and Abrofon leader, because they realized inflation idea be hard. So they put in place something we call a currency board. That was between 1913 to 1958. He basically dismantled everything, changed the currency, brought in his own thing, and at the end of the day, Ghana maybe do any. So the big question is, what is currency board? What is currency board? I was just asking someone before this particular year, said, what is currency board? And people say, maybe a school economist there, maybe we show internet. So I'm saying, okay, we will do the research. Then we went and we researched and found out what is a currency board. Listen to this. I'll say a currency board system is a type of exchange rate regime in which a country's domestic currency is fully backed by a foreign reserve currency or a specific foreign asset, typically held in fixed exchange rate relationship. So, I see based on my little BA and my wire. Basically, what I'm listening as they me read you Papa no John Steve Hopkins can say currency board institute something called a currency board. Basically, it's a currency board we will have back channels a more like something a bit cushion our currency, and these things will be foreign reserves. Foreign reserves can be in the form of gold, foreign reserves can be in the form of assets, foreign reserves can be something like oil, and at the end of the day and what fixed exchange rate. And one of the BBI actually any fixed exchange rate, but one of the things are the exchange rates, very fixated, and I say it doesn't really move up and down. One of them I know is gold. Okay, if I'm wrong, please correct me. And I know oil too is one. US has a lot of foreign reserves, together with other things, assets in your money, investing, Ghana to invest in money, and I say we should invest in these things. These things, like they're fixed, okay, and cost exchange rate and cost from even if it changes just a minimum, we should invest in these things to cushion our currency. But basically, I believe someone motion you have more basic knowledge about this, more business enthusiasts near the you can help me with this one. Let us see how best we can basically bring all the ideas you have and let John Dramani Mahama know, say, Master, you have to go here, and yes, sir, you'll be Akufo-Addo 2.0. Before then, the Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison also came out to say, this IMF thing, it came with its own restrictions and then perhaps certain things you have to do. One of them basically was closing down banks. So Mahama knows very well, say, even though the IMF is willing to help, it comes at a cost. And that cost can cost his presidency and make him the worst president in the history of Ghana. And he doesn't want to be that person. Yanko T. Sama Dr. Ernest Addison to join by bet you also.
I think microeconomics at the time. And I did that quite a bit. I think I did that as a sectional lecturer in Montreal, Canada for nearly 2 years after I had completed my PhD.
Impressive.
Before coming back to Ghana to join the Bank of Ghana, rose through the ranks in the Bank of Ghana. During Gov't days, through to Dr. Dufour's days, we had our issues back then. I left and I went to the West African Monetary Institute as a chief economist, and then we had Governor Akuffo coming. And, Dr. Baumia became his special assistant. And then he went and lobbied that I should be brought back to the Bank of Ghana to head the research department. That was a very painful event because I was earning US dollars, $7,000 a month at the West African Monetary Institute. I had to take a steep pay cut to come and work as director of research at the Bank of Ghana. So really, this was really the background, and we had a lot of, very good training, I should say, under Governor Akwa, a lot of reforms. The bank was refocused, we focused on our inflation targeting objective and mandate, a lot of hard work, really hard work during those days. And then when he left, I worked with Governor Arthur, also another Kwabotre boy, so we got on. We worked very closely. So after 9 years, I believe, in that position, I think I was just tired. I really needed a change, so I quietly started looking. Spoke to a few people here and there. And then I got an opportunity to go to the African Development Bank. And then I worked in the Tunis office for about 2 years. And then as part of the decentralization program of the African Development Bank, I relocated to South Africa, to the South African Resource Center, and I was there, leading the research work for the Southern African countries in that region. Till one day I got a call that, well, you have to come back home and we want you to come and assume this position. So these are the circumstances which brought me back home in April 2017.
That's really impressive. That's something that if we were reading your speech, we would not get a sense of. So thank you. So I get a sense you went straight from school, got your PhD, and then started your banking career. This would have been 1994-ish?
Yes.
So 30 years.
Yes.
Wow, 30 years in banking as a central banker.
Yes.
Impressive. So how has banking evolved over these years and in Ghana context over the last 8 years under your leadership?
Well, there's been a lot of changes, and it appears as if we've gone through different cycles. You know, if you look at the financial sector in the 90s, this was a financial sector which had been impacted by the structural adjustment program. You know, there had been a liberalization of financial sector policies. You know, interest rates were now market determined, exchange rates market determined. You know, the weakness in the economy at the time was reflected in the portfolio of banks, so there was very heavy